Hey y'all, welcome to Loving Home with Liz. So today I want to talk a little bit about, so I've decided I'm ready to buy or sell a house. What do I do? So the first thing I'm going to recommend is that you hire a realtor. You want to hire somebody who is an expert in their field to help you through this process. What a lot of people don't realize is that realtors do a whole lot more than opening the door or setting up an open house or whatever it is that the stigmas are at now about what a realtor does for their clients. We are an expert in our field, and there's about 100 different things that a realtor does for you behind the scenes that you are never going to see. So you want to interview and hire a realtor to represent you in your process. Now, who's the best realtor for you? Well, that's going to be completely dependent upon you and your personality type. It's also going to be dependent upon what it is that you're trying to do. When you're working with a realtor, you're talking to them sometimes multiple times a day, every single day. Then there are other parts of the transaction where you may only talk to a realtor who you've hired for once a week. It all just depends on the transaction, where it's at in that process. So if you're talking to somebody multiple times a day, and you're going through a negotiation process and you don't like this person, it's not going to be a fun experience for you. And also, if you hire a realtor who's completely unfamiliar with what it is that you're trying to do, it may also be a frustrating kind of experience to go through. So hiring your best friend to be your realtor may not always be the best choice, but it's really dependent upon who also that realtor works with, who is in their corner, who's on their team. So when you go to interview somebody to be a realtor for you, these are all questions that you want to ask. How long have you been in the business? Who's in your corner? What level of expertise do you have? Do you prefer to work with buyers? Do you prefer to work with sellers? Do you have experience with both or just one or the other? What do you charge? What can I expect from service from you? If I call you at 7 o'clock on a Saturday, are you going to answer? If that's important to you, then you want to hear a yes. If you are completely understanding and that if it's 7 o'clock on a Saturday, I understand that person's probably with their family and you're okay with them not calling you back until Monday, then you would be okay with a no. But this is what you're looking at when you're looking at hiring a realtor. Who is the best fit for you? And so I always recommend at least talking to 2 different realtors. Now, after you hire your realtor, the next thing you're going to ask them is, okay, so I know with the market the way it is right now, what do we do next? Next thing that person's going to tell you to do is you need to get pre-approved or be able to show proof of funds to purchase whatever property you're going for. Now, that realtor is going to have a handful of lenders who they have on speed dial, and they can pop out that list to you, text it to you, email it to you, just as soon as you say you're ready for it. Again, you want to interview those lenders. Every lender has where they do things a little different. That loan officer is extremely important to how your deal or transaction is going to go. So if you hire somebody who's not super responsive, it may slow down in this market whether or not you are able to purchase the property that you're ready to make an offer on, or to even find out if you can afford that property. Because that's another thing I've seen a lot of people make in this market because it's moving so fast, is that they go on a mortgage loan calculator and they think they know what they can afford. But we really need that lender to tell us where you're at. There are a whole host of things that go into deciding whether or not you are pre-approved for a mortgage. For example, your debt to income ratio. Where that's at will determine where it is, as far as your pre-approval process, what number you're pre-approved at. Your interest rate will change what it is that your mortgage payment every month is. And so your realtor is not an expert at that. There is a reason why there are realtors and loan officers. So your realtor is going to refer you to loan officers that they have experience with treating their clients the way they want their clients to be treated. And then you interview those people to decide who it is you want to work with. Then the two of those will work together along with you in getting you into a home. Now, let's say we cut that loan officer out and we don't get you pre-approved or have any way of showing your proof of funds. So I'm showing you houses that are $300,000, $350,000, because on that mortgage loan calculator, that's what we think you can afford. Well, then let's say we go to make an offer and now we need that pre-approval letter. We go through the whole process with their lender and we go to try to get that pre-approval, and it turns out you can't afford a 350 house. You can only afford a 250 house. Now I have gotten your hopes up. You have fallen in love with this $350,000 house, and now you can't purchase it. Now you have gone from looking at houses at this level to now we're looking at houses down here. So you're used to all the things that are in a $350,000 house, and now I have to start showing you $250,000 house. Now imagine your disappointment when you find that out. That's the other reason we really recommend that you speak to a lender prior to looking at houses. So these are just a few little tips to kind of get you started. And as episodes go on, I'll talk with you a little bit more about some other things, the next steps in the process. So again, thank y'all for tuning in to Loving Home with Liz.